Alright. This is where Minagoroshi truly begins. Let's go.
そんなことを言ってたね。でもどうしてだい？どうして僕と高野さんが殺されなきゃならないんだい？
あらあら。私たちが5年目のたたりに名前を連ねられるなんて名誉な話よ。
As I expected, they didn't really take me telling them that they'd be killed on the night of the festival seriously. They did keep their promise to tighten up my security after I showed them the ritual storehouse. However, they hadn't given one thought to their own safety. Oh well, like I said, I didn't expect them to believe me. If they were willing to take me seriously, I could have easily changed their fate a long time ago.
もう一度言いますです。富武は喉をかきむしって、高野はどこか遠くの山奥で焼かれて死にますです。
喉をかきむしるって、それはレベル5の末期症状のことかい？大丈夫だよ。僕はちゃんと注射を受けてる。そんなことはありえないよ。
私だってあんまりね。どこか遠くの山奥で焼死なんて失礼な話だわ。それがあなたの夢の中に出てきたというの？
今夜だけでもどうか気をつけてほしいのです。騙されたと思ってどうか僕の言うことを聞いてはくれませんですか？
私たちの身に迫る何かというのも夢のお告げなのかしら。大丈夫よ。あなたの身辺は山犬がちゃんと警護しているわ。今日だって8人があなたの近辺を警護しているのよ。
ありがとうです。僕の警護は十分助かっています。ですから、高野たちも同じく用心してほしいのです。
心配してくれてありがとう。大丈夫だよ。こう見えても体は鍛えてるんだ。降りかかる火の粉くらいはちゃんと払えるよ。
Tomitake flexed his biceps and smiled. I'm sorry for my pathetic excuse of a bicep. He was probably trying to make me feel better. But all he really did was make me feel sadder. This is the sad part about being me. I know the future, but I can't tell them. It's as if that was a rule of the world. People tend not to believe what I tell them.
でも、死ぬのです。富武と高野が死ねば、次は僕が殺されるのです。二人が死んだら誰が僕を守ってくれるのですか？
どうも相当悪い夢を見たみたいね。
I have a question. This is just a question of curiosity. What does this camera look like in the Steam sprite? Hold on. Oh, Jesus! Wow, I forgot their sprites, and I have to say, Tomitake's Steam sprite is awesome. And his camera stayed the same. Interesting. But yeah, I have to say, the Steam sprites are pretty good. I'm gonna be honest here, I like the Steam sprites, but I'm using the PS3 sprites because, their mouse move. That's the only reason. I use the PS3 sprites because the mouse move. So I'm gonna have to change it back to the PS3 sprites, but I'm gonna say this now. I love the Steam sprites. I think the Steam sprites are awesome. I really enjoy them. But I'm going back to the PS3 sprites because, well, their mouse move. And Tomitake lost all his muscle.
大丈夫よ。 もし万が一、私たちが死ぬようなことがあっても、山犬があなたを警護するわ。
山犬は本当に僕を守ってくれるのでしょうか。守ってくれた試しはないのです。
そんなことないわ。あなたがふっかけた喧嘩にも現れたでしょ。あなたの近辺を常に警戒してくれているわ。もちろん、平時にはそこまでの警戒はしていないけれど、先日のあなたの要望以来、あなたへの警戒態勢は非常に高度な状態を維持しているわ。入江所長の警護よりも厳重なくらいよ。
富武と高野が死んだ後も、その警戒態勢は維持されますですか？
無論よ。あなたの身ほど大事なものはないんだから。
僕たちは今夜殺されてしまうともう決まっているのかい？参ったな。
富武に生き残る意志がないのなら、死んだ後の私の身にしか興味がないです。
You know shit's going down when Rika uses that tone of voice. My words must have left a mark on his heart. He looked much more serious after I said that to him.
やれやれ。わかったよ。せいぜい今夜気をつけるよ。沖宮へ戻るときは僕にも警護をつけることにする。
二人の時に襲われるのだと思います。だから今夜二人きりになってはダメなのです。
あらあら、焼いてるのかしら。おませさんね。
I mean, it's Tomatake. I'm kinda jealous too. You got Tomatake, Takano. Like I thought, I can't change their fate. When we saved Satoko, everyone shared the same sense of urgency. That's why we all got together and saved her before it was too late. However, these two have no sense of urgency at all. How can I make them understand? I sighed and gave up.
富武、高野、さようなら。今日までありがとうでした。
ちょっと待ちなよ。リカちゃん。
I had nothing else to say to them now. Instead, it might be worth talking to someone else. If I could get someone else to protect them, I might be able to change something. I can't give up yet. Fate is as thin as a piece of paper. It's just like the lid on a jar of jam. It's not going to open unless you believe it will. I have to believe that I can change my fate. If I don't, it's not going to change.
富武さんと高野さんがですか？それは本当ですか？
I've told Irie about this so many times in the past. Irie tends to listen to me more seriously than Tomotake and Takano do. However, that doesn't mean that he can actually do something about it.
お社様の巫女の僕が嫌な予感がするから。では、理由になりませんですか？
わかりました。そうおっしゃるなら、お社様のご神託かもしれませんね。今夜そんな事件があれば、5年目のたたりということになってしまいます。お二人には注意するよう、私からも伝えましょう。
All Irie would end up doing would be warning the two of them, which was exactly the same thing as what I did. In other words, it wouldn't matter in the least. Irie is just a researcher, and he has no ability to deal with unexpected trouble. That's why Takano works for him, after all.
くれぐれもよろしくお願いしますです。ペコリ。
Who else would treat me seriously? Who would be able to prevent Takano and There's water stuck in my throat, I'm sorry. Who would be able to prevent Tomitake and Takano's death? That's right. There's one man who's been fighting the curse of Oyashiro-sama with all his might.
あれフルデスさん探してたんですよ。赤坂さんがぜひお別れの挨拶をしたいと言って探してたんですが。
つくづく赤坂とは肝心な時に縁がないのです。
先日の温泉の件をずいぶん恨まれているようですね。赤坂さんも何も恩返しができなかったことを悔やまれていましたよ。長い休みが取れたら改めてひなみ沢に行きたいと言っていました。それを奥さんに勘違いされちゃったみたいで。可愛いけど、あの奥さん、家に帰ると怖い人なんだろうな。
Wait, did his wife ever get a sprite in the games? I don't think she has a sprite. Okay, Yukie... No, she only has, an anime image from the Studio Dean adaptation. She never had an official, character sprite in any Higurashi game. I know his daughter does. I know his daughter has sprites, but, actually, I'm gonna wait to, talk about Akasaka's daughter, because I'm definitely gonna be playing the console arcs. Like, I'm gonna confirm this now. I will be playing the console arcs in the future. So, I'll talk more about Akasaka's daughter in the future, because I really want to get to know more about her. And, definitely with the console arcs, I'll get to learn more about Akasaka's daughter. Miyuki? Yeah, I think her name's Miyuki.
大石。実は大切な話があるのですが、誰も信じてくれませんのです。
いかがなさいましたか？
I've spoken to him several times in the past too. He usually takes me pretty seriously. However, after they die, he starts suspecting me. That's why I stopped talking to him.
それをどこで聞いたんですか？どの辺で？
I told him that I heard someone talking about murdering them in the crowd. That way, he might not be suspicious of me after the murder really happens.
確かに富武さんはよそ者だし、高野さんと合わせれば2人。
He's connecting the dots.
1人が死んで1人が消えるか。確かに5年目のたたりとしてはあってもおかしくなさそうですね。デマの可能性もありますが、わかりました。ダメでもともと。お二人をマークさせましょ
襲うなら、ひなみ沢と沖宮の間の道だとも言っていたように思いますです。
Tomitake's body will be found on the road leading out of the village. From what I remember, he's discovered where the concrete road turns into gravel.
う。わかりました。車を1台張り付かせましょう。そのくらいの余裕はありますので。
He agreed to get involved, and he wasn't suspicious of me either. I'm sure it seems odd to people that Ooishi actually believe this phony-sounding story of mine. The thing about Ooishi is that he strongly believes that there's no smoke when there's no fire. I've learned from experience that he tends to believe my information. However, that personality of his has caused me so much trouble in previous worlds. Of course, there's no question why he's so eager to believe me either. This is his last chance to expose the curse of Oyashiro-sama before his retirement. Even if it might be fake, he still wanted to believe it. That was convenient for me, since I couldn't show proof.
クマちゃん、聞こえますか聞こえますか沖宮への帰り道の途中にパトを1台貼り付かせてください。いえ、単なる警戒です。良くないことがそこら辺で起こるかもしれないという噂が入りまして。2人程度でいいでしょう。お願いいたします。
You know, I kind of want a side story about Ooishi. I really want a side story of Ooishi's point of view from one of the arcs of Higurashi. I really want to see his point of view, at least for one arc. And I want to see his point of view in the aftermath of the Great Himizawa disaster arc. Likely, I think I want to see his point of view after Onikakushi. I want to see his entire point of view during and after Onikakushi. Because I think the Great Himizawa disaster occurs at the end of Onikakushi. So I want to see his point of view after that arc. No, Sumihoroboshi! I want to see his point of view during and after Sumihoroboshi. Yes, we got to see a little bit of it in Sumihoroboshi, but I want an entire game from his point of view of everything that happened during, before, and after the Great Himizawa disaster, especially with Sumihoroboshi. I want to see what Ooishi thinks of the Great Himizawa disaster. So if there's a console arc where we actually get to see Ooishi during the time as the news of the Great Himizawa disaster is coming out, I would love to see that. As the news is breaking, I would love to see Ooishi's point of view. Anyways, let's get back to the game.
ありがとうです。誰も僕のことを信じてくれないので困っていたところなのです。
それを信じるのが警察です。何事もなければむしろ無事を喜ぶべきじゃないですか。出動を空振りこれを喜べ。私の先輩の言葉です。それに、せっかくのタレコミ情報を見過ごして事件を防げなかったら、これほど悔しいことはありませんからね。
I see. That's his way of thinking about things. That was why he believed me without question. I hope he won't consider me a suspect after they find their bodies tomorrow. I shouldn't worry about that now. I can still do more. Who else should I talk to? Should I talk to my friends? I can't give up. I should at least try.
まさか、そんな物騒なことを言ってる人がいるのかい？よりにもよってこの日に、不謹慎だな。
あれか？今日起こるかもしれないって噂の、お社様のたたりってやつか？
うん。連続4年起こってるからね。やっぱり今夜も起こるかもしれないと思ってる人も少なくないみたいだね。
怒ると思うのは勝手でございますけど、富武さんと高野さんを名指しするなんて失礼な話ですわね。富武さんと高野さんにも念のため伝えた方がいいんじゃないかな。もう伝えましたですが、信じてもらえなかったです。
そりゃそうだろうな。でも、万が一何かあった後じゃ遅いしな。大石さんに話した方がいいんじゃないか？
もちろん、もう話しましたです。
She already thought 3 steps ahead of them.
へえ、リカちゃまはなかなか手際がいいじゃないですか。でも確かに、用心に越したことはないです。今夜だけは。ひなみ沢村連続開始事件。通称、Oyashiro-samaのたたり。はっきり言って、何年も続かれちゃ困るんだよね。
I thought she was about to go into some weird narration about what's happened in the past 4 years. But that's not in Mion's character. She wouldn't do that. But for some reason, her tone of voice made me think she was about to go into a big narration about the past 4 years.
面白がって模倣するバカも出てくるし、何より村のイメージダウンにしかならない。
つまり、今夜何も起こらなければ、それで連続はついえるわけだろ？
That's wishful thinking.
なら今夜起こらないように何かすればいいわけだ。
なんかって何ですの？悪いことが起こらないように村中で見回りでもしますの？
見回りなんかしたら、かえって不用心な気がします。そもそも手の打ちようなんてあるんですか？一応、綿流しの準備会の方では、連続開始事件を模倣しようとする変質者が紛れ込む可能性もあるので、見かけない顔には警戒しようってことになってる。
ひなみ沢は、よその人の顔はわかるからね。見慣れない人がいたらすぐわかる。だから、きっと大丈夫だと思うけどな。でも、それでもきっと、富武と高野は殺されるのです。リカちゃん。そうだね。私たちにもできることをしてみようよ。
そうだな。一晩中を護衛はできないだろうけど、せめて祭りが終わるまでの間、近くにいようぜ。人が近くにいれば、悪い連中も、おいそれと手出しはできないだろう。
Oh, man. I couldn't tell if they really believed me or not, but they listened to me, at least. We decided to keep our eyes on Tomitake and Takano and protect them for the rest of the night. I guess I've done everything I can now. Though it's hard to believe this is enough to prevent their deaths.
あとは、明日目が覚めたとき、何も起こっていないかどうかね。リカは、富武たちの死を防げると思っていますですか？無理かもしれない。やはり、あの二人が死ぬのは、私の命運が尽きることを知らせる時計の時報なのかもしれない。でも、さっき高野も言った。山犬が私への警護を厳重にしてくれているから、仮にあの二人が殺されても、私は無防備とはならないかもしれない。そうしてる間に、東京から応援も来るだろうしね。いつものように富武たちが殺されたとしても、その後の状況は、これまでの世界とは少し違う。それでもダメなら、潔く死ぬしかないわね。とにかく、今回は最後の最後まで諦めない。あがける限り、あがく。どうせ無駄だから残りの時間をワインで過ごすなんて、後ろ向きなことは絶対にしない。リカの好きなようにするといいのです。羽生は相変わらず、どうせダメだと思ってる？僕は、いいもダメもないです。あるがままが運命ですから。
Don't say that with a smile on your face. Don't say that with a smile on your face. Please, for the love of God, don't say that with a smile on your face.
期待するから心が痛む。 か。
If I'm an actress trying to get up on the stage, Hanyuu is a real bystander. We have very different opinions when it comes to this.
リカ、何があってもどうか気を落とさないで。なんだか今回もどうせダメだって遠回しに言われてるみたいね。最近あんたと話してるとイラつくことが多いわ。
I understand. Hanyuu keeps telling me not to get my hopes up because she cares about me. Because I hope to defeat fate, I get hurt when that hope is betrayed. And the more I get hurt, the closer I get to losing my mind and disappearing. For Hanyuu, that means losing her only friend. Losing me is probably the most unbearable thought for Hanyuu, since she has to live alone, unable to communicate with anyone else. I now believe that fate can be changed. Even when I didn't have that faith, I still believe that eventually I'd find a way to get out of this maze. Perhaps Hanyuu knows something I don't. You know, I've been reading a lot of comments about Hanyuu recently. Especially when I make a theory about her. I see a lot of various comments about Hanyuu, and I'm gonna say this now. I think my opinion on Hanyuu is gradually shifting. Yes, I still slightly like her, but she's not that high on my favorites anymore. I'm just gonna say that. in this video. After reading 1,000 comments about Hanyuu, some are comments that, I'm not for sure I'm supposed to know some stuff in those comments yet, because of my knowledge of Umineko being so limited. I'm not gonna be going into that. Anyways, all I'm gonna say is, my opinion on Hanyuu is slowly shifting, and I probably should have realized these things about Hanyuu earlier. And this line right here definitely, has implications depending on, how much you know about, the complexities of Hanyuu. Stuff that I probably should have known yet. I might just be a goldfish inside of a fishbowl. There might be no way for me to escape my fate. We're stuck alone inside of a fishbowl, yet every day I knock on the glass, believing that I can break it someday. Hanyuu keeps telling me that I'm wasting my time. If I get hurt and die, she would have to survive all by herself inside the fishbowl. With that, I think I finally understand our difference of opinions. Hanyuu has lived for a much longer time than I have. Because of that, she understands the laws of this infinitely spanning world better than I do. No matter how much I refute Hanyuu, I can never refute the truth. Even so, I still have to believe in my own fate. I believe in a spear that will pierce the wall of fate. My fate will make that spear sharper than ever. We found Tomitake in the crowd, and struck up a conversation with him to keep him around as long as we could. However, as soon as the festival ended, they tried to leave. If they left now, I'd never see them again. Mion tried insisting that they stay at her house for the night, but Tomitake refused. Everyone tried various ways to stop them from being alone because the murderer might be around. However, we eventually started to believe that they wanted to be alone for adult reasons. Ooh. And I wound up suggesting that we shouldn't interrupt the two lovebirds.
大丈夫だよ、リカちゃん。富武のおじさまだって男だよ。 いざとなれば、高野さんのために獅子奮迅の活躍をしてくれるよ。
そうよね。私に危機があったら、二郎さんが体を張って守ってくださるのよね。
そのつもりだよ。
じゃあ、私たちはもう行こう。もうだいぶ遅いよ。
ありがとうね。気を利かせてくれて。
くれぐれも誤解しないでくれよ。僕は診療所に忘れ物をしてるんだ。それで、診療所の鍵は高野さんが持ってるから、高野さんと一緒に診療所に行くんだよ。
へえ。富武のおじさま、診療所で愛の語らいとは奥が深いです。違うよ、シオン。きっとナース服着てもらって撮影系なんだよ。
Mion! Oh my god, Mion! Crash! Bang! Wham!
ナース服でどんな写真撮るんだろう。
Nah, they're playing gynecologists.
がっちり理解できてるなら、照れ隠しに殴るのはやめろ。それからミオンとシオン。お前ら、今までそんな目で富武さん見てたのか。
じゃあね、みんな。本当に忘れ物を取りに戻るだけだからね。ついてきちゃダメだよ。
You don't want to see something that you'll never unsee.
富武、本当に用心するのですよ。理科の心配しすぎではございませんの？
Everyone laughed when Satoko yawned. It seemed like a good time to call it a day. It doesn't feel like I was able to change their fate. I just hope that they pay attention, and that they're prepared for whatever faces them. I still might have a chance. All I can do now is pray.
それじゃあ富武さん。また、ぜひその時は写真を見せてくださいね。その罰ゲームのシャツ、ぜひ着てきてくださいね。
Aw, they made a new one!
いいよ、美女との一夜、羨ましいね。ヒューヒュー。
I mean, he's not wrong. Regardless, Takano's still kinda hot. I'm gonna be honest here. Regardless of what you think about Takano, she's kind of hot.
またね、みんな。次に会うのは秋頃かな。
私たちが今夜殺されなければね。それじゃみんな、おやすみなさい。
おやすみなさい。
That was the best I could do on the night of Watanagashi. Higurashi no Rakukor 2回. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, boy. Please tell me what happened this night. This is like a box with a cat inside. God damn it. Please tell me what happened this night. I don't even know if the cat is alive or dead inside the box. God damn it! Please tell me what happened this night. The cat in the box is dead. Frederica burned castle. God damn it! God fucking Schrodinger's cat! God! I'm sorry, Erwin Schrödinger. I'm sorry that your psychological experiment became more popular than you ever have been. You know what? This is my channel. This is my channel. This is my channel. This is my channel. And you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you all a little bit more about Erwin Schrödinger. Erwin Schrödinger. Biographical. Erwin Schrödinger was born on August 12, 1887, in Vienna, the only child of Rudolf Schrödinger, who was married to a daughter of Alexander Bauer, his professor of chemistry at the Technical College of Vienna. Erwin's father came from a Bavarian family which generations before had settled in Vienna. He was a highly gifted man with a broad education. After having finished his chemistry studies, he devoted himself for years to Italian painting. After this, he took up botany, which resulted in a series of papers on plant phylogeny. Schrödinger's wide interests dated from his school years at the gymnasium, where he not only had a liking for the scientific disciplines, but also appreciated the severe logic of ancient grammar and the beauty of German poetry, which he abhorred was memorizing of data and learning from books. From 1906 to 1910, he was a student at the University of Vienna, during which time he came under the strong influence of Fritz Hasenauer, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, who was Boltzmann's successor. It was in these years that Schrödinger acquired a mastery of eigenvalue problems in the physics of continuous media, thus laying the foundation for his future great work. Hereafter, as assistants to Franz Exner, he, together with his friend K.W.F. Koschrock, I'm so sorry, constructed practical work for students, without himself, as he said, learning what experimenting was. During the First World War, he served as an artillery officer. In 1920, he took up an academic position as assistant to Max Wein, followed by positions as Stuttgart, extraordinary professor, Breslau, ordinary professor, and at the University of Zurich, replacing von Lau, where he settled for 6 years. In later years, Schrödinger looked back to his Zurich period with great pleasure. It was here that he enjoyed so much contact and friendship of many of his colleagues, among whom were Hermann Well and Peter de Beer. I cannot pronounce things. It was also his most fruitful period, being actively engaged in a variety of subjects of theoretical physics. His papers at that time dealt with specific heats of solids, with problems of thermodynamics. He was greatly interested in Boltzmann's probability theory and of atomic spectra. In addition, he indulged in physiological studies of color as a result of his contacts with Koschrock and Exner, and of Helmholtz's lectures. His great discovery, Schrödinger's wave equation, was made at the end of his epoch during the first half of 1926. It came as a result of his dissatisfaction with the quantum condition and Bohr's orbit theory, and his belief that atomic spectra should really be determined by some kind of eigenvalue problem. For this work, he shared with Dirac the Nobel Prize for 1993. In 1927, Schrödinger moved to Berlin as Planck's successor. Germany's capital was then a center of great scientific activity, and he enthusiastically took part in the weekly colloquies among colleagues, many of whom exceeding him in age and reputation. With Hitler's coming to power in 1933, however, Schrödinger decided he should not continue in Germany. He came to England and, for a while, had a fellowship at Oxford. In 1934, he was invited to lecture at Princeton University and was offered a permanent position there, but did not accept. In 1936, he was offered a position at University of Graz, which he accepted only after much deliberation because his longing for his native country outweighed his caution. With the annexation of Austria in 1938, he was immediately in difficulty because his leaving Germany in 1933 was taken to be an unfriendly act. Soon afterwards, he managed to escape to Italy, from where he proceeded to Oxford and then to University of Ghent. After a short stay, he moved to the newly created Institute for Advanced Studies in Dublin, where he became director of the School for Theoretical Physics. He remained in Dublin until his retirement in 1955. At this time, Schrödinger continued his research and published many papers on a variety of topics, including the problem of unifying gravitation and electromagnetism, which also absorbed Einstein, and which is still unsolved. He was also the author of the well-known little book, What is Life, 1944. He remained greatly interested in the foundations of atomic physics. Schrödinger disliked the generally accepted dual description in terms of waves and particles, with a statistical interpretation for the waves, and tried to set up a theory in terms of waves only. This led him into controversy with other leading physicists. After his retirement, he returned to an honored position in Vienna. He died on the 4th of January, 1961, after a long illness, survived by his faithful companion, Anne-Marie Bertel, whom he married in 1920. And that was the biography of Erwin Schrödinger, according to the Nobel Prize website. And yes, I actually fucking ended a Higurashi video talking about the life of Erwin Schrödinger because people should remember him more for his works in physics and science than his cat box theory. I'm sorry. Honestly, his cat box theory is actually, very influential as well. So it's kind of weird to know that, a guy who got a Nobel Prize in... What did he get a Nobel Prize in again? Did he actually have a cat? Hold on. Did Erwin Schrödinger have a... Did he actually have a cat? What? He didn't have a cat?
Okay.